Alright guys, so currently I am melting some wax in this muffin tray. Because it's probably our cooking sheet. I don't want to use a pan. And what I'm doing is I'm taking little bits of wax and melting it in the muffin tray. So the little piece I did in there as a test is completely melted. It was a super tiny piece, but I'm gonna try to pour the liquid wax into the speed dimples now. And hopefully it goes okay. If not, I might have to think of a different way to do this. Need something to prop up. Cool, the banana's working. I don't know how hot this whole sheet is. It's in this little corner. Oh, I hope this runs into these holes. Hey. Wow, that actually turned out. Okay, I'll show you guys the results. So it's already starting to cool in there. Yay, Nadia's here, guys. So she's gonna help. So do you wanna get a close up of the pour?
What is this, just wax?
Yep. Just melted wax.
We'll do this top one now. Cool. Do you want to get a close-up of that? Awesome. So that looks like it's gonna fill the second boot, so no need to melt any more wax. Hey YouTube, it's Spooky Boots here, and today we are gonna do something that I've wanted to do ever since I've started inline skating years ago, but for some reason haven't up until now, and that is skating with wax-filled speed dimples. Before we get into today's content, I want to take a second and say that last night I was looking at my analytics. That helps me determine the content that you guys are enjoying and the content that I want to make for you guys. I noticed that 72% of my audience, you guys, the viewers, are not subscribed to the channel. And I want to take a second and ask that if you find yourself returning to the channel and you're enjoying the content I'm making, just please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. It's free. It helps the channel grow, which I think helps the community grow as well. I just wanted to take a second and ask that. And if you are new to the channel and this is one of your first videos you're seeing from me, if you enjoyed today's content, I hope you also consider subscribing as well. With all that said, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. Now, I have kind of given up on trying to figure out if speed dimples do or do not enhance the performance of the grind. Like I said at the beginning of the series, all of my findings have been subjective, and I really haven't noticed anything. I'm of the belief that drilling the speed dimples correctly in the right kind of way, taking the right amount of surface area out, I think it does enhance the grind. Now, I don't think I'm a consistent enough skater to really tell if it does or does not enhance the grind, but I am curious about these wax-filled Soulplates. I have 3 questions that I want to get answered today. Those questions being, are the Soulplates now self-waxing? Do I not even have to worry about bringing wax to a spot? So like, you know, are they going to maybe heat up and leave a little bit of wax residue on the rail and I can consistently rely on that to slide? 2, is the wax collecting dirt and grime and essentially hindering the grind? At the end of the video, I want to check the soles and see if there's a lot more gunk in there than there is, you know, clean, fresh wax. And finally, 3, am I going faster or slower? And I think I know the answer to this. I think I'm not going to be able to tell, but that's why we're out here. I'm going to see if there's a noticeable difference. Are the Soulplates now self-waxing? Are they collecting too much dirt? And how fast are they or how slow are they? There's a little divot in the rail here that's like stopping me dead. I want to see if I can either hop over it or, you know, just be satisfied with where this is essentially going to be the end of my grind. One each block trick. Ooh. Worried about my leg going in here. Ooh, that'd be a broken leg for sure. Ooh, it slipped in there. I hit the vine and something went down my pants. Now my butt's itchy. Damn. That was perfect luck and you hit the fence. No. All right, we're gonna have to make this one quick. My camera's overheating because it's in the sunlight. Yes. Not as clean as I want, but I'm taking it. So this is a super cool spot. There's this little metal ledge here off of the sculpture. And then there's this down ledge that it's made out of that rough pebble stuff, but it looks like it's been broken in, so I might try to hit that too. This is actually, I don't know, I feel like the sculpture is impressing me more than this little rail here. I'm gonna jump through the sculpture. Someone left their bicycle pump here. I'm gonna move that. Fell on my butt. So that last spot I was at, turns out it was a roof and there was classrooms going on underneath me. I got kicked out. The guy was really cool about it. He was like, hey, you can't skate here. You know, it's a roof, there's classes underneath. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And he's like, yes, just can't skate here. And I was like, okay. I took right off. He didn't really give me too much hard time. I guess this will be a good test to see if the wax actually does anything. You know, like this would definitely need wax, but I got wax in my soles. I'm gonna give it a good wipe off because I do see a bit of dirt on it. Gross. I did quite a bit of skating around looking for this last spot, so I'm pretty tired, but we're gonna give it a good session. See how these dimples do. Let's do acid for now. Whoa. Ugh, I'm really struggling. Yes. There we go. It's a weird trick. I feel like my face mask is obscuring my vision. All right, and we are back at the house. Sorry about that, guys. My camera battery died when I was skating that last spot, but it's whatever. I was pretty close to done anyways. I feel like my session was okay. I feel like I spent more time looking for spots versus actually skating spots. I should have stayed at that first one all day. It was so much fun. But that's what happens, you know. I try to keep the videos visually interesting and exciting, and sometimes it's hard when you are skating between spots. You only want to skate so far sometimes, but it's whatever. So let's talk about the Soulplates. Let's talk about the wax-filled speed dimples. So at the beginning of the video, I had 3 questions that I wanted to answer that I had thought of the night before. Those questions being, are the Soulplates self-waxing? Did too much dirt build up in the speed dimples? And finally, am I going faster or slower? Let's start with the first question. Are the speed dimples self-waxing? I'm gonna say yes and no. And I'm gonna say that because I feel like initially at the beginning of the session, they were waxing my soles while I was skating. And I think that could be because before I started skating, I started scratching off the leftover residue, so basically everything that came out of the dimple and spilled onto the sole plate, and I wanted it to be strictly the wax that was in the plates or in the speed dimples to see if they were doing anything. I think there was a little bit of residue left that I couldn't scrape off with the, with the credit card or whatever. And I think that was acting as wax at first. And I also think there's a little bit of wax poking out of the dimple. I think what was going on was the leftover was basically flaking off as I was grinding, sliding between the rail and the sole plate, and then immediately, acting as wax and then immediately flaking off, because I didn't see anything sticking to the rail or the ledge or any of the obstacles I was skating that day. It didn't look like I was actually waxing the obstacle by skating it, but I think I was actually having wax in between the plate and the obstacle, causing the slide to happen a little easier. How long that lasted, I'm not really sure. I felt like the day before I had cleaned my bearings, I had flipped my wheels and did some trail skating and got them back to a nice round profile. So like those two factors could have been resulting in faster speeds. And I think my confidence was a little higher that day. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. And yesterday was a good day for me. It's hard to really tell how much the plates were waxing themselves, but I think at first there was something going on, and then towards the end of the day, not so much. So question number 2, did too much wax build up in the sole plates? And I think I changed the wording of that question because I think my original question was, is dirt building up in the sole plates / speed dimples? And of course that's going to happen. I have holes in there with wax and they're just going to grab dirt, and it's not like it's not going to grab dirt. So I changed it to is too much building up. And if we look at the sole plates, this is my left foot, this is my switch foot, so it didn't receive as much action. But if you look towards the toe, there is a little bit of dirt buildup. Not so much towards the heel. And I've noticed that with my dominant boot as well. So if we look at this one, there's a lot of dirt and dirty wax buildup, especially towards the toe. And was that affecting the grind? I don't think so, at least not in that one session. Maybe after multiple sessions, it eventually will. But I think it's an easy thing to prevent if, like, maybe every other session you have like a sheet of sandpaper and you just hit it real quick and knock some of that dirt out and loose. And I don't think you'll have any issues. But I think in the long term, you might have issues with too much dirt and too much dirty wax building up, resulting in maybe a slower grind. And my final question was, am I going faster or slower? And I think I'm going to stick with my opinion that I've had in my first 2 videos, and that was I really couldn't tell, and I don't think it really mattered. I think if I wasn't going slower, I don't think it really bothered me, and I don't think I was going slower. So I think if you want to do something like this, but you're worried about it messing up your sole plates and resulting in a negative outcome, then I don't think you have to worry about that. But if you go into it thinking, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go a lot faster with my grinds, I don't think that's going to happen either. I think if anything, there's a mild increase in possible speed if you do drill dimples, and then on top of that, if you do fill them with wax. I think at first, at the beginning of the session, it might feel like it's doing something, but I think in the long term, it's gonna be not really noticeable. Those were all my findings, guys. That is the end of the series, and it's the end because I already told you guys, but in my next video, I'm gonna be building my own sole plates using this stuff, the UHMW sheet of plastic I have. I'm gonna chop it down, mount it to my soles, and essentially have fresh soles. So it's gonna be a new start with my Aeons, and I'm pretty excited about that. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe. If you guys liked today's video, go ahead and like it, and I will see you guys next week.